Hey, you guys. Hello. How are you? I am coming to you live from Helena's bedroom because this is the best location for Wi-Fi in my house for doing Facebook Lives. And I'm also coming to you live from lunch break of the foundation class day 1. And wow, it has been a rocket ship ride already. I'm so excited about this class and so grateful for the ladies who have shown up for it. I'm just going to ramble for a few minutes until I get a couple of live viewers. And so for those of you who may not know me, who may be watching me on video for the first time, my name is Catherine Oster, and among many things, I'm a certified facilitator of Access Consciousness. And Access Consciousness is this crazy set of tools that anybody can use to change things in your life. Hey, Loretta, how are you? And I'm going to talk to you about one of those tools today. So one of those tools today is the question of truth. If I buy you, will you make me money? So there's a couple of things going on with that question. The first thing is you are asking the things that you are purchasing to energetically contribute to your cash flows. Now, that does not mean that you will find a $20 bill in your box of Kraft Dinner. I mean, maybe, and that would be really cool. And yeah, what it does mean is that that thing you are spending your money on is something that's going to contribute to you having more money in your life. Hey, Lori! So that could actually be, it could actually contribute to people judging you as having a lot of money. And if you are willing to be judged as a rich bitch by other people, if you're willing to receive that judgment, then it is going to contribute to you having more money in your life energetically. Loretta says, good. You forgot the word amazing. You forgot the word amazing when describing yourself. Aw, thank you, Loretta. And I have been asking that question with things since I have learned about it, actually, because it's a really easy question to ask. And actually, these earrings, I purchased them. They came home with me from Costa Rica last summer. And I asked them the question, truth, if I buy you, will you make me money? And they clearly said yes. So this is one of the things. And so how it contributes to making me money, I don't really know. It doesn't make sense. You can't understand it. But if you ask the question and you get a yes, then do it. And the worst case scenario is nothing really changes in your life. And the best case scenario is you start having more money. So what do you have to lose? So truth, if I buy you, will you make me money? Okay. So now I know this really, Loretta, who called me amazing, is also amazing. And she sculpts rocks. She creates masterpieces of a sculpture from a rock. Now, some of you may know I was in Fork Lake a couple weekends ago at Lori Ouellette's place, and we facilitated some classes together. Well, Lori facilitated a body process class, and I'm back. Somebody thought they should phone me, but I'm here. Okay, I was facilitating a class, and Loretta came for the body process class, and she brought one of her sculptures along to contribute to the class and for people to see, and it's just such a contribution. So I got to see her sculptures in person. I had only ever seen them in photos before. And being in the presence of, it was a bear that she brought, this amazing, beautiful bear that she sculpted from a rock. And being in the presence of that bear, I was like jaw dropped, like the energy, the contribution, the strength, the power, that I perceived from that bear was amazing, unlike anything I had ever perceived before. And I knew right then that I wanted to own one of Loretta's sculptures, that one of them was coming home with me, but I didn't know which one it was for sure. And then she showed us a picture. So that bear sculpture was already sold, actually. It was already sold, and it got to spend a little bit of time with us before she shipped it to its owner. And then she showed us a picture of the next bear sculpture she was working on, and it's 3 bears in a tree. And I saw that picture, and I was like, oh my God, that's the one I want. And then we were talking about it in the class, and I said to Loretta, I'm like, oh my God, Loretta, like, this sculpture is worth a lot of money. And we were facilitating around money and receiving money and getting paid for doing things that we love to do, because oftentimes that's really uncomfortable for us. And we often don't acknowledge ourselves when we have a brilliance with something, because we are it and we think that other people can do it too, but that's not true. So I saw the 3 bears in a tree, and I remember saying something about, like, this one is worth $5,000. And the look on Loretta's face when I said that, and then the thought process in my head was, but I want this and I don't want to pay $5,000 for it. I'm like, so funny. And the look on Loretta's face when I said like $5,000, she was kind of like, she didn't really know what to say. And I think she said something, well, maybe like 2,500 or something like that. And Lori knew it. I remember Lori Ouellette, she saw me and she was like, oh, I think Catherine's gonna have the 3 bears in a tree. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not paying $5,000. So funny. So anyway, okay, so that was that, and I kind of left it. And then we had the classes, and it was amazing. And Loretta was coming to the bars class with horses that we had it yesterday. It was fucking phenomenal. It was actually ended up being a bars class for bars facilitators, because everybody who showed up was a bars facilitator, and there was one person that wasn't, but they chose it. Anyway, so Loretta was coming, and I said, Loretta, can you please I would love it if you would bring a sculpture, if you could, if you wanted to. Ask whatever ones wanted to come, because I wanted to see more of them in person, right? And there's a method behind my madness. And so Loretta's like, oh yeah, I would love to bring some. So she brought like 5, and I posted pictures of them on my Facebook page. So I will share them to this page as well. So if you're not friends with me, you can see the sculptures that she brought in person. There was the frog and an owl and turtles on a tree and a bull. And it was like, they were amazing. But I asked them all, and none of them wanted to stay. They just wanted to show me them, and they wanted to contribute, and my husband saw them, and he also thought they were really cool. And I asked him about the bull, and because he loves cows, I wondered if he was like into the bull, and he was like, no, it has to be black, because he likes black cows. Apparently he's prejudiced against the white bull. But I'm like, did you lift the bull? And the look on his face is like, I did not touch them because I didn't want to wreck anything. And the bull is like 30 pounds. It's a big bull. Anyway, and so then he's like, I wonder if she could make me some black cows. So Loretta, I might have a project for you in the future. So Loretta brought those to the bars class, and I'm like, oh, they're all amazing. But the 3 bears in the tree kept popping into my head. I didn't even want to look at it. I was kind of like, $5,000, no. And then the next time it came up, I'm like, wait a second. So in Access, and also in other places, one of the ways to change your financial reality is to create a 10% account. So what is a 10% account? It is you take 10% of every dollar that you make or that comes into your life, and you put it away for you as a way to have money. And I've been doing my 10% account now for like 5 or 6 years. 6 years. And so it's actually like, it's kind of a lot, it's a pretty substantial amount. Now, I have bought things with my 10% account that I would never buy for myself. These earrings, I actually paid for them out of my 10% account because it's something that's never going to lose value, because they're actually real pearls and real diamonds. And I paid about $5,000 for these earrings, or close to it. Maybe it was 3,500, 4,000, which I've never said out loud before to many people. Lori knows. She was with me when I bought them. But these earrings, it's an honoring of me in buying them. It's like treating myself to something. And I never knew I was into jewelry until I started allowing myself to receive from the jewelry. And they're so yummy. And I wear them when they want to be worn. And today they wanted, so here they are. They wanted to come on the video, actually. So anyway, so the bear came up and I'm like, okay, $5,000. If Loretta wants $5,000, am I willing to pay for it? I'm like, this bear, this sculpture is a thing that is going to contribute to my life. I know that. And I asked the three bears, I'm like, Truth, if I buy you, will you make me money? And they were like, yes, we will make you money. And I'm like, I can use my 10% account cash to pay for these bears, and it's going to create something greater in my life. I can just imagine them right now sitting in the middle of my kitchen table, actually. They're going to be the centerpiece when they're ready to come over. And so that went on my head. Loretta came for the bars class. And then at the end of the bars class, Loretta told me that she was considering taking the foundation class that was starting today, but she didn't have the cash yet. And it popped into my head to say, hey, Loretta, I really want one of your sculptures. I would be willing to trade a sculpture for the class or part of the class or whatever, something like that. And I already knew it was a three bear sculpture. And Loretta was kind of like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. And so she's like, well, let me think about it and I'll get back to you. And then I said to her, I'm like, can you send me a picture of the three bears when you get home? Because I just want to see them again. And so she got home last night and she sent me a picture of the three bears. Now I could tell that this was bringing stuff up for her. She was really uncomfortable with that. She sent me a picture of the three bears and I'm like, oh my God, yes, I am buying those, Loretta. They are mine. And I think one of her replies was, do you know how big they are, Catherine? Like, are you really sure? And she was kind of like really uncomfortable about it. I'm like, it's mine. Those are mine. No questions asked. And I sent her a private mess. Like I replied back. I'm like, let me know, whether you come to the class or not, those bears are mine. And if they are more money than the class, I'm willing to pay you the cash difference or whatever. Or if you don't come to the class at all, I'm just buying them from you. They're mine. And she was so uncomfortable. I'm like, how much do you want for them? And then the whole conversation about the $5,000, like I could perceive that energy coming up. And I knew it was inviting her to actually look at her, like how much money she's willing to ask for something that she loves to do. And so this is funny because she's watching this video right now. You can see she's commenting. And so she replied back to me this morning. She's like, well, let me sleep on it and I'll get back to you in the morning, blah, blah, blah. So this morning she's like, I'm not going to make it to the class, Catherine. I'm not done the bears yet. I need to have them for another 2 weeks and I will get back to you on a price. And that's where it's at. And so I'm like, oh, those bears. And I showed Travis a picture of the bears and he's like, those are cool. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, they're going to be here soon. And he was like, oh, that's so good. Oh, it's so good. I just read Loretta's comment. She's like, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, that's so good. So, Truth, if I buy you, will you make me money? And are you willing to trust the yeses? Are you willing to acknowledge that money can show up in your life in a way that you never expected it to? If there's things, like it's not linear. So there are things in your life that bring you joy and make you smile. Those are energies that contribute to you having more cash and more money. And every time I look at those bears in the picture, I've showed a few people already, they make me smile. That is an energy that's going to contribute more joy in my life. And money follows joy. Money follows joy. The more fun you're having doing whatever it is you're doing, the more money will show up to support you if you're willing to ask for it and receive it. Anyway, I'll also post a picture of the 3 bears in the comments of this video. So if you scroll them after, you will see them and they will say hi to you. Or maybe I'll post, I don't know, I'll post a picture somewhere of them. So that is Coffee Chat for today. I cannot wait to have those 3 bears on my kitchen table. I cannot wait to tell people who made them. I cannot wait to tell people that they were carved out of a rock. How does it get any better than that? Oh, and P.S., that's another tool. How does it get any better than this? That's another question you can ask randomly for anything and everything and see what starts to change. Loretta, when they're done, I know you'll let me know. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye-bye.